dreadful was the day when the sun vanished. The waters dried up, birds went quiet, and the dark itself seeped unchecked into the work table as the cold, chewed paper moon rose over the mountain. The night that followed would be long as the Midnaight Walk.
She came back one day from a long while of rock-picking under the gnarly trees. Usually the Merkel had been fond of fall and the refreshing cool of winter, but this time it had been much too long for her taste. Even the sun seemed tired, and she had all the rocks she needed, so she decided to treat herself to a long nap. And so she woke with a yawn, so big it could have devoured the sun. She had slept for just about a decade. A decent nap by Merkel's standards. She smacked her dry lips, looking forward to what the new dawn had to offer as she left her lair and went out into the cool night. "Wait a minute," she exclaimed. "Night?" Where was the sun? Where its warm rays should have been there was only the vast night sky, not a star on its face. Well, the Merkel mumbled softly to herself, winter was late, so now the sun must be late too. Proud over her sound logic, she went back to her lair to take a complimentary nap. The Merkel had taken a nap that had lasted 2 decades. Now that counts as oversleeping even by Merkel standards. She had awoken anxiously this time, feeling misplaced and confused. The confusion grew further into panic when she was greeted not by the sun's life-giving caress, but once again by the silently mocking night sky. I had a flame once. It was beautiful and bright, spread its light, brought me and my neighbors warmth.
and it was always hungry. No matter how much I fed it, it kept on growing and growing, and one day it got big enough to start walking the long road. I didn't guide it. It dragged me along for the ride. I followed it for a long, long time. Would the road ever end? What was the point of the walk? Things kind of spiraled. Road took me on dangerous detours that didn't make sense. Before I knew it, my flame began to fade until well, I don't think I was meant to carry this flame.
There once was a freezing cat who was looking for shelter when she came across a dark cave. "Step into my abode," offered the dark. "It will warm you if you surrender your wants."
The story goes of a nameless maker who pulled creative spark from the dark itself without giving it fire. With his dark source, he managed to create swaths of land in no time. The dark itself waited for a gift of fire, but the maker just kept on taking. Too busy building his crooked fences and watchtowers, kept his fire locked away in his chest. One day, he decided to create the first people to inhabit and appreciate his creation. It was then that the dark corrupted the maker's clay, guided his greedy hands into creating not people, but the first of the fire-eating crawlers. And they crawled into this world absolutely starving.
The dark's eyes were much too big and watchful for the cat's liking. She went on to find warmth somewhere else. The cat saw it. Rooftops piercing the sky. Approaching the town, she was greeted by a crone. Come, kitty, kitty, you must be tired. Sit in my lap, share your soft fur, and I shall warm you for a spell.
Hello, Mother. The well said to give it a match, so you and I could talk again. I hope this works, because that was my last one, and well, it's cold now. But it doesn't matter. We can finally talk after everything. So, how are you? Do they have fire where you are? Not the hellish kind, I hope. Is Father there too? I think you should talk to him again. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I know he loves you still. I love you. Still. I can't feel my hands. I can't feel anything.
could this happen? Whoever did this? Oh, the flame warms the righteous, but the wicked who love destruction, The flame burns with a passion.
How will we warm the furnace?
Feed the thief to the furnace!
Feed the thief to the furnace! Coalhaven is doomed!
On the wicked the flame shall rain fiery coals and burning sulfur. A scorching wind shall be their lot. Come forth, thief, and confess your hideous crime!
Welcome to Coalhaven, newcomer. Good to see a flame in these parts again. I'll be your guide tonight. This furnace here used to run on coal and fire, don't you know? But a thief stole all our matches and wasted them in greed, you see. Now the ghost has come to smite the wicked and punish the thief who killed us. Well, I guess that's it. That's a tour on the house. There's a bone right there in the snow. That ain't no place for a bone. Your flame could bring back warmth to our graves, and may the worms in our bellies dance again. Oh, do you feel that? Something's changing. That furnace was the soul of the city. We used to worship it, us coal miners did. Fed it trees and fire like it was a hungry, angry god. This broken body's going nowhere, but yours is. Walk the streets, listen. Just don't believe everything the half-dead say. Hear 'em shaking in the cold. The bones are longing for their grave. I can't move, I can't do what I used to, but you have burnt clay. You're still able. Your hands idle. There are many bones out there, you know. Little keys. The matches were plenty, and then there were few. A thief is the cause of our doom and shame. Oh, the shame. But the day of the dark shall come in the guise of a thief, in which the stars shall quietly pass away, while the houses shall be destroyed with intense heat, and the earth and its works burned up. Your flame could bring back warmth to our graves, and may the worms in our bellies dance again. The curse of Coalhaven's ugly and vengeful, a grave matter indeed. What do I know? I'm just some dead guy. Throw me a freaking bone, huh? The curse of Coalhaven's ugly and vengeful, a grave matter indeed. The matches were plenty, and then there were few. A thief is the cause of our doom and shame. Oh, the shame. Hear 'em shaking in the cold.
The cat didn't like the crone's crude pettings. Her hands tugged at her fur. Now, rest still, the crone said, as she pulled out a crooked knife. The cat was quick and escaped just in time.
Listen for the bone.
see a ghost. The thief loved the stars. Would have plucked them out of the sky if it were possible. But the dark itself stole her stars, turning the thief's sky as black as a cup of joe. And so the thief began to steal matches and lit them, hundreds of them, like little stars of her own.